Hey everyone! I have had so many challenge ideas lately. I mean, they're just unending in my mind. And so I decided to do the condiment challenge this week. And I have a couple other challenges I want to come up with too, but yeah. So what you have to do is you have to paint with condiments out of your refrigerator. So take whatever you have. I used mayonnaise, ketchup, barbecue sauce, mustard, grape jelly, pesto, and Hershey's chocolate syrup. Yeah. So I took some old paintbrushes and I didn't know if I wanted to keep them after I did this, and I just went with it. I learned very quickly though, you need a small brush for this because condiments are not like paint. Condiments are a lot more viscous, chunky, sticky, and they don't really dry that well. So that was what I learned. Anyway, making the skin tone was about the easiest thing, and I was very thankful for that. So I think I did mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup for that, and it was just boom, really simple. And then for the blush, I took some mayonnaise and grape jelly. What a combination to mix, let me tell you that. And I just kind of blotched it all over the cheeks, and I don't know if you drag the jelly, it kind of is weird. So kind of dabbing it on is about the best method that worked for me, but yeah. The shirt was a little better, but I think that was just because the skin tone wasn't under it. Not quite sure. But I really liked the natural colors that came out of the food, especially the pinks. I just thought it was beautiful, and it was a frightening color to paint with because jelly is very sticky. And so I couldn't put my hand down, but I enjoyed it, so that's okay. Next, I used the leftover skin tone color, and I did the highlights in the hair. And then I worked down a shade with barbecue sauce, which surprisingly is a lot more brown than I thought on paper. I always just felt like it was more of a maroony red, but nope, it worked out pretty nicely in the hair. So I decided to go from light to dark on everything in this because of the consistency of the condiments. I didn't want to risk going too dark and not being able to lighten things up. I mean, the mayonnaise did a good job and everything with lightening things, but yeah. Anyway, I used Hershey's chocolate syrup for the lowlights in the hair, and I loved how that turned out. And it turned out a lot better than I thought, to be honest. I wasn't really sure how the hair would work out, but I realized going into this that I need to do thick outlines for everything and have a simplistic approach because I knew it wouldn't be easy to paint a lot of details with food. So, yeah. Food is a lot more viscous than paint, and it's a lot more clumpy and sticky. And so you just kind of have to go for a more simple style. Now, when I laid down that pesto, there's a lot of texture in there, and it didn't quite do what I wanted it to do at first. So I switched to mustard and made yellowish flowery leaf things, and then I did a couple stems with the pesto and some leaves here and there. I think that seemed to work okay. But man, the smells at this point were just getting to me. After this, I think... No, I did it at the end of the painting. I went and got an Excedrin migraine because I started to get a headache from like jelly, mayonnaise, and garlic all smelling, and then barbecue sauce. It was crazy. All the smell was just crazy. I used ketchup for the roses, and then surprisingly it wasn't as dark as I had hoped, and so I went in with barbecue sauce. And I was afraid it would turn brown like the hair, but I think because I did it over the ketchup, it worked out nicely. And then I took more jelly and just went around the edges. One of my biggest fears with this project was that I'd get food on my mat, and I'm just weird about that, but it worked out. I just put cardstock underneath this piece of paper, and I'm just using some thick piece of sketchbook paper I got from Barnes & Noble, actually, so yeah. Anyway, if you guys try this, I would love to see your results, so please tweet it at me or tag me on Instagram or something. You can see the chunks of garlic in the pesto. Anyway, this is how it turned out, and it was a lot of fun to make it, and so It was unique, and it's just fun to use random objects to create art. I think that's what makes art really fun sometimes, is when we just do obnoxious things, and sometimes you make masterpieces, so who knows. Anyway, here is one of the last couple weeks of video previews. It was a collab I did, but anyway, you can click it and keep your adventure going. Okay, well, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.